Am I the asshole for changing my last name to match my children's? Even though my ex hates it? I, 27, male, was having casual sex with Naya, 26, female, for 2 years when she got pregnant. I told her I would stand by her and the baby, but she told me to care more about the children than her because we were not a couple and never would be. About 6 months into her pregnancy, she informed me that she was putting her new boyfriend on the birth certificate and did not want me involved. I told her I was not going to let her cut me out of our baby's life. She warned me I would need to fight because she wanted to make things easier, and her boyfriend being the father was easier. 8 months into her pregnancy, I found out she was expecting twins, not a singleton. The reason she never told me was that the less I knew, the more she could make it appear that I did not care when paternity and custody became a fight. When the twins were born, I petitioned the court for a DNA test and to establish custody if they were proven to be mine. I had some doubt at that time because of how hard she shut me out. The DNA test showed I was the father of our twins, and a custody schedule was set up so I could be involved and pay child support. After paternity was settled and my name was added to the birth certificates, I really hated that I did not have the same last name as my children. So, I changed my last name to match theirs. She heard about it through some people we both know, and she told me it was gross and that she hated the idea. I told her it was not her decision and that I was not doing it for her, but for myself and to match with my children. This is my first Father's Day as a father, and I get to have the same last name as my children, which feels great. They are almost 1, and this last year and a half has been crazy, and it is still not over. But I do not regret the decision to match my children's last name. I know my ex and her boyfriend both think I was wrong. My ex's boyfriend taunted me a few times, saying he might share a last name with my children one day when I will not. They think I did it because of that. But I was thinking about it even before he said it the first time. Was this an asshole move when it was about my children and not my ex? I know it was her last name first, but I am not sure. Am I the asshole? Commenter 1. You are a real man and shaping up to be a good or even great father. Fight for your children. Love them, teach them, guide them. Not the asshole in the slightest. However, I can offer this piece of advice. As your children grow up, if their mother and her partner decide to badmouth you to your children, and there is a chance they will, do not do the same. Be neutral at worst. Show them how a real man behaves. With strength to persevere through adversity, with enough pride to never allow another person's words to affect his actions, and with love and affection toward his children and those they care about, regardless of how they feel about him. I am sharing this because I went through it. Have it put in your custody agreement that neither party can speak negatively about the other. Since it was in writing, my ex had to watch what he said. Also, and this is very important, insist that all scheduling, doctor's appointments, vacations, school trips, and similar matters be conducted via email only. I cannot tell you how often my ex tried to lie, only to be caught by the lack of an email. There are court-approved applications for this that the courts have direct access to, and the data cannot be changed by any party. Oh yes, thankfully he decided to stop trying to be in their lives, but I pushed for one of these to be added. I forget the name, and it will vary from area to area which one or two your local courts use, but the one I suggested and was working to get added even records phone calls and monitors volume. It will give the person yelling a warning, and if they persist in yelling, it hangs up the call and automatically logs the reason why. Courts need to make these more known. This should be automatic for any co-parenting situation that is not nearly 100% amicable. Commenter 2. There are some great parenting applications for communication and paying money. They will not allow you to speak badly to each other and will make you rewrite anything that is rude. You can submit expenses owed back and forth, and it will keep a running tab of who owes what. Yes, emails are seen as more legitimate by courts of law, as it is harder to manipulate them. With texts, you also have to get a copy from your phone service provider to be admissible in court. That is a long process, and if they drag their feet, your lawyer may not get it by the court date. It is amazing how many people, when writing an email, will say things they would not say over the phone, in text, or even in person. It is strange. It is called parental alienation and is against the law. It does not have to be in a custody document because it is already established law. However, if it made you feel better to have it laid out in black and white for the other parent's benefit, all the power to you. It is difficult to enforce depending on location and how any bad-mouthing occurs. Some people are very skilled at skirting the law to the point that even judges and lawyers will admit they should be considered violations but are not. Commenter 3. When I was a child, it stood out to me that my mother never spoke negatively about my father. I appreciated that so much because he would not stop talking about her. I second that piece of advice, from the child of divorced parents and also as a mother who never spoke ill of my son's father while he constantly trash-talked me. My son said when he was younger that it felt bad to hear his father talk about me because he loved me, and it made him feel like his father hated that part of him because he hated me so much. This makes me so sad. When I was a baby, my mother was not in the picture. My father was the sole parent, but he was being helped by my aunt, my mother's sister. My mother came around when I was 5, and she immediately began bad-mouthing my father to me, but even worse, she manipulated me into telling my father that he did not care about me because he made sacrifices for his extended family, as the sole breadwinner. I would say mean things to my father, in hindsight, and he would just shrug it off. As I got older, I started realizing just how much of a terrible and abusive parent my mother was and is. My father never uttered a single bad thing about her. He never told me to say anything negative to her. Through him, I saw what a truly good parent looks like. I miss him so much. Rest in peace. Original poster. I am already working on ways to approach conversations so I do not badmouth them to the children. I never want to be the parent who puts their children through that experience. Hopefully, I will not need to worry about this, but I am realistic that, given our history, there is a greater chance it will be something the children hear as they grow up, so I will do everything to ensure it is not something they hear in both homes. I think as a simple thought, do not badmouth is good. However, if she ends up being cruel, there is some value in being honest with children. For example, my mother did not needlessly badmouth my sperm donor and rarely brought him up at all. However, when I would ask questions, she would be honest, like telling me she left because he threw her down a flight of stairs. When evaluating the relationship I wanted to have with him, I am glad I knew that. Commenter 4. Excellent advice. Sadly, it seems one parent trying to alienate children from the other is not uncommon in separations. I think this advice is great for standing your ground on the moral high ground, and your children, even if misguided for a while by that alienation, will know they can find you on that moral high ground when they are ready to seek it out. Advice for any parent. Stay strong in your endurance and patience and savor the joys. Perfect advice. My husband's mother did this to my husband growing up. Their father was always calm, steady, and reliable. Guess who my husband is closer to and who he does not trust now that he is a man. Commenter 5. Not the asshole. They are your children, and you did it for them. Honestly, what I think is gross is the fact that your ex literally tried to keep your children away. Laughing my butt off. I think you should throw that in her face every time she uses the word gross with you. In a world where we already have deadbeat fathers and cowardly fathers, we need more men like you, so maybe your ex should stay in her lane and not worry about a name. Happy Father's Day, original poster. I wonder why she hates him so much. She might not have hated him, or at least not initially. She might just want to pretend nuclear family, where she gets to raise the children in one household with a partner, with no custody schedule, no co-parenting with a man she does not particularly like, and have her children love her boyfriend or future husband exactly like a father without any loyalty conflicts, spending every single Christmas, birthday, and holiday with her children. If you have enough money, single parenting can be a lot more enjoyable than co-parenting with someone you do not like. I am just saying, this decision could very well have come from intense selfishness rather than hatred. I am wondering why these two were having casual, unprotected sex and agreeing to have children when they have no special relationship with each other. You should not just have children with someone you do not care about. Commenter 6. I think it is totally fine and very sweet. Your children will appreciate it, right? It is such a meaningful gesture. He did not do it to spite anyone. He did it to feel connected to his children after fighting just to be in their lives. Honestly, that is the kind of dedication every child deserves.